Nua is the goddess who literally mends the sky after the world has already been destroyed. She creates humans out of clay, one by one, as if she were shaping not only bodies, but entire destinies with her own hands. In popular imagination, she looks like a gentle, patient mother, always available, but Nua only comes on stage when everything else has failed. This is the archetype of the woman who handles everything, who fixes her husband, family, company, and friends' emotions. Nua is the quiet warning. If everyone expects you to be the patch for the world, at some point, the sky will come crashing down on you.
If this is making sense to you, subscribe now and comment what you think. That tells me to keep going, and it makes sure you get the next ones without missing them.
Ziwangmu is presented as the Queen Mother of the West, surrounded by peaches of immortality, attendants, and a distant realm that almost no one reaches. At first glance, she looks like just another wise lady of mythology, but in practice, she is the guardian of the most coveted rewards: longevity, favors, access to a level of existence that few ever touch. She decides who is worthy, who is tested, who is rejected. This is the archetype of the matriarch who holds the key to the door, a boss, mother, mother-in-law, or spiritual leader who can either bless you or cut you off for good. Chong-er drinks the elixir, goes to the moon, and leaves her husband behind on Earth. Depending on the version, she's a villain, selfish, a traitor. But this is the archetype of the woman who chooses her own freedom instead of the perfect couple narrative. In the sugar-coated reading, Chong-er is just a romantic drama, full of longing, looking at Earth from afar. In the honest reading, she's the woman who accepts the price of loneliness in order to leave a story she no longer wants to live. In mythology, she rises to the moon. In real life, she blocks, disappears, and is painted as a monster. Guanyin is the one who listens to the cries of the world. 1,000 arms, 1,000 eyes, 1,000 ways to attend to those who suffer. She is the perfect image of the good woman, welcoming, patient, present. But behind this archetype, there is a brutal question. What happens to someone who spends their entire life carrying everyone else's pain? Guanyin is the guardian of other people's suffering, not the princess of self-love. She sees, hears, holds. This myth exposes the social fantasy of having an inexhaustible female figure, mother, therapist, advice-giving friend, the woman who understands everything. Guanyin shows the danger of this logic. Compassion without limits turns into self-annihilation. When people say to you, "You're so strong, you can handle it," they are putting you in this goddess's place.
Mazu begins as a figure tied to the sea, protecting fishermen, sailors, travelers in danger. She appears when the boat is already capsizing, when the storm has already begun, when no one is in control of anything anymore. Mazu doesn't stop a person from throwing themselves into the storm, but she is there to keep them from drowning. The cute reading reduces this to protector of those who sail, almost a romantic patron saint. But psychologically, she is the portrait of the woman who lives permanently in rescue mode. She prays, intercedes, cares, keeps watch, while the other person insists on punching holes in the hull of their own boat. Mulan puts on armor, goes to war, and takes up a place that, in that world, belongs only to men. It's not just physical courage, it's a complex psychological operation. She has to abandon the appearance, voice, and gestures considered feminine in order to survive. Today, the pop version turns Mulan into a symbol of linear empowerment. You just have to be strong and prove your worth. Mulan represents the pain of having to become a man so you won't be discarded. And, ironically, when she reappears in her feminine form, many pretend none of that had a cost. The victory is celebrated, but the fractured identity almost never makes it into the story we tell.
Daji is remembered as a cruel, seductive consort linked to the fall of a dynasty. At first glance, she's the cliché of the femme fatale who destroys everything.
Instead of facing male collapse, the myth dumps the blame onto the female figure. Daji is the archetype of the woman who becomes the scapegoat for collective decay. She concentrates the fear of desire, pleasure, female influence. It's easier to say a woman lost the kingdom than to admit an entire system had been crumbling for years. In modern times, this pattern reappears in stories of betrayal, scandal, politics. The mistress becomes the ultimate villain. The man made a mistake, but he's only human. Daji reveals how culture uses the female body as a symbolic trash bin for male failure. Demonizing her desire is the fastest way to let everyone else off the hook. Zenu is the celestial weaver who falls in love with a mortal man and is separated from him, meeting him only once in a while. Zenu is the woman who connects worlds, the bridge between heaven and earth, work and affection, duty and desire. She holds the thread that keeps everything running, while living permanently in between. The sugar-coated version talks about love that conquers time. The honest version shows a life spent always waiting,